We're just gonna put the observatory in the background. And welcome to the closing session of this meeting. I'm gonna reintroduce Bob Blunt, Director of Operations, who will have some closing remarks.
Thanks a lot, Fed. This will be brief, but I just wanted to start out by saying thank you all for inviting me to be here. It's super energizing and revitalizing in this kind of the phase of the project to come and talk about science and engage with people who are actively thinking about doing some of the hardest things we can do, but some of the most interesting and exciting things that we can do. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm privileged to be here, and I just wanted to thank you all for inviting me to this wonderful workshop. I wanted to start with some good news. Today in Chile, the Rubin Observatory team, led by our colleagues from the University of Arizona Mirror Lab, put the primary mirror, M1 and M3, I'll just call it the primary mirror, on its cell. So this is a major milestone for the observatory. And what it really says is the schedule is now, the wave function of the schedule, it hasn't collapsed, but it's getting much tighter. And things are going to be happening in the next weeks, months, and the next year that we're just steadily going to get close and close to starting the survey. And so this workshop is super timely because we don't have that much time left to get ready for these kind of things. So this is great. I think this week you all made tremendous progress, and we just got to keep pressing ahead. I wanted to especially thank you all who are here working as scientists for the work you put in this week. I mean, I watched you working hard every day, talking, having the open sessions, then getting together and actually doing real work. And I saw the outcome of that today. I'm really impressed and grateful that you're putting in this time to make this work and to be something of value for yourselves and for our community. So that's super good to see that you're actually putting in the time to really do this, because it's a big ask, right? This is really important when we talk about the survey and then coming in with this type of specialized program. That's a big ask. You can see how it touches all parts of the observatory. You're asking lots of questions that kind of push on the system in different ways, but you're willing to put in the work to make it work is really beneficial to see from the project side point of view. I wanted to thank the local organizing committee and the science organizing committee. You guys did a tremendous job. This is a wonderful venue. Great to be here in Berkeley. Especially I wanted to thank Rafael F. Fed and Igor for all the great work they've done in making this happen. So we heard some very useful and interesting talks and engagement with the Rubin team themselves. So Peter Yoakum, thank you very much for all the work you have done, showing us how what this community wants to do will fit into what we're building and how we can work together to make it work. And I heard lots of good things. I didn't hear anything that caused me, to think this is crazy, it'll never work. So I think we just keep pushing ahead. Tiago was here and helped a lot with your discussions, your individual discussions about what's happening at the telescope and how the scheduler will work. So thank you very much, Tiago. And then Lynn Jones was online, and you all know, because a lot of you have been working with her for a long time on the simulations and the scheduling work and the metrics. And that's just, it's hard to overstate how important that's been in focusing all these different science cases and being able to keep them in our head with this very diverse survey that has so many different goals, and you want to make different choices and you want to understand what that means. So thank you, Lynn. And Eric gave a great talk on the alert generation and what that means for this, because that's really at the heart of getting the information to you all quickly. We're talking about targets of opportunity. The main thing is it's happening fast, and you need to get data back fast to understand what to do next. And so Eric and his team are doing that work with the alerts pipeline. So thank you very much for that. I wanted to, I don't know quite how to capture this, but this meeting for me, this workshop, is an exemplar of I think how we're going as a community, or at least how we want to go as a community. And it's very much aligned with Rubin's values about being inclusive, about bringing different people and letting everyone have a chance to speak and contribute in whatever way makes most sense to them, but encouraging them to do that and listening to all those different points of view and then coming out with a concise set of recommendations or science programs or whatever. It's fantastic to see. So I think you should congratulate yourselves for being part of this inclusive community that I think is taking us into the future. When I think about, just even the program schedule, how inclusive that was and how well it worked, that's a great example for other people to look at and see how we can do things into the future. I mean, bringing our colleagues in from across the world and having people here working together, and then having those two things come together, just putting all that together over the 24-hour cycle, it's amazing. And I'm really proud to be part of a community that's doing that. So thank you very much. Maybe most importantly, I'm leading this workshop with the sense that you have made the scientific case. So we've been talking about the TOO case for a long time. And we reached the conclusion quite a while ago that I think, some kind of science program could fit within the survey context. And we outlined, a rough percentage of time that we thought would not adversely impact the rest of the survey and still provide a significant opportunity to do new science. And I think I'm so pleased that you all have basically made the case. I have no concerns that we're going to do maybe all of this that you were talking about the last 3 days, maybe most of it. It's certainly a large part of it. So very well done. I think the science case has certainly been made. There's obviously work to do. We saw today that there's still some details of the survey strategies to be worked out, and I encourage us all to keep working with the Rubin team to identify those points that may be more difficult to implement or less difficult to implement. Certainly as you go forward, I think I would encourage you to think in terms of what can I do or what can we do with the basic Rubin workflow and processing. And then what more could we do if Rubin, after a year or so going forward, was able to accommodate these other observing modes? So I'm talking about exposure times, coads, things like that. So let's keep our eye on that as we go forward. But think first of all, in the first year or so, what can we do if we just have to stay, basically in the current data management box? Yeah, I think there's still a little bit of work to do on your strategies over the actual time that we're going to need. Saw a really good quantitative progress on that, so I guess I'm not too worried that we'll do that. So that's on you. We will keep working on understanding what can be done within the context of the Rubin system, and then together we'll work on bringing this all together, including how this triggering process works. This was an idea that actually Fed came up with. And we discussed at some length on the project. And at first I was skeptical. I wanted to have some kind of traditional time allocation process for the TOOs where scientific cases would be made to an independent panel and they would choose people or groups to execute those programs. The data would still always be available to everybody, but maybe a group would drive what was done at the telescope. Fed convinced me, and I think the rest of the project leadership team, that this was a better way. Let's get the community together at the beginning. Let's get them to work together and come to consensus on what can be done, and then let's do it together. And I think this is going to work. So, with that, I'll just say thank you one more time, and let's keep doing it.
Thank you very much. We asked you yesterday afternoon to come up with some closing remarks, and clearly they were well thought out. So thank you for that. And I'm going to just spend another couple of minutes. Go in presentation mode. Okay, I just want to thank again the local organizing committee, Rafaela, Josh Bloom, Ryan Chornock, and Steve Khan, as well as the local administrators that helped us. They helped us a lot, really, because there were some complicated intersections of like funding and people's and timing and all of that. So Brenda Johnson, Maria Kais, Maria Yelm, I hope I didn't butcher her name too much. As well as particularly two students who really helped us locally, Swayze Hears and Daniel Brathauer with the microphones, with getting everybody to familiarize with the badge process and the morning when you all came in. I want to thank the people that I roped into the scientific organizing committee, Rafael again, Igor Andreoni, Anna Frankowiak, Tim Lister, and Graham Smith. And I want to thank Igor for one particular contribution, which is that initially I called it the RubinToO workshop. And then Igor changed it to RubinToO24. That's a great idea because I think it makes very much sense to do it again. I would imagine that a good time will be in a couple of years, 2026, when the observatory is running, the LSST survey has started, we're really approaching O5, we can really think a little bit more of the details of how the observatory is working, how we're doing the initial tests on TOs, and what changes to this plan that we're drawing today need to be made. So just like don't mark your calendars because I don't have a date, but start thinking about it. And yeah, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, and Stephen also wants to add a thanks to all the European and Asia younger scientists who contributed to our breakout time. The quick calculations were very useful to the discussion. Hope you stay involved in the process. So of course, we also want to be remember of everybody on some other parts of the world. Yeah. So this is the end of the formal program, I believe. So we do have the conference venue for us until the end of the day. So please feel free to use this space. We have the Kinsey room if you need private, some other private room. So it's here for you. The cookies, the coffee is going to be here until 4 p.m. And after that, that is it. So I will have to leave before 4 p.m. Because I have to be in campus. But one little favor, when we leave this room, if you notice that there is some cups around, just a favor, just let's try to leave this room as we found it this morning. So with as fewer cups around as possible. Thank you very much to everybody. On behalf of all the entire LOC, it's been a pleasure to have you here in Berkeley, and we hope that it was a great experience for you too. So let's start working on those papers, right? Thank you so much.